Hi kids, it's Mr. Papineau. May 12th is Manitoba Day, and I wanted to introduce you to the Great Manitoba Flag Debate. What's Manitoba Day, you ask? Well, the Manitoba Act, which created the province of Manitoba, was passed by the Parliament of Canada and received royal assent on May 12, 1870. The act was proclaimed on July 15, 1870, when Manitoba joined Canada as the fifth province. Celebration of Manitoba Day on May 12th has grown into an annual community event since Manitoba's centennial in 1870. Don't you remember Manitoba Day last year? Huh? Don't you? So this year, Manitoba Day was supposed to be a really big deal because it's 150 years since Manitoba joined Canada, and May 12th would be that 150th birthday. The other thing that started to come up, and I'd heard about in the news a little bit this year, was why not maybe take a chance to redesign the flag of Manitoba? Some people think it's a good idea, some people don't. I'll let you decide. Flags are very important. Every country has one, and in Canada, every province and territory has one as well. Lots of cities do too. For a long time, though, Canada didn't even have its own flag. We use the Union Jack, this flag here, which is also the flag of Great Britain. It took Canada almost 100 years to get its own flag, and this is the one that was chosen in 1965. It's a classic. The red and white colors are supposed to symbolize hope, prosperity, peace and tranquility, and neutrality. And the maple leaf is about Canadian heritage and our natural resources. Manitoba, however, didn't get its own flag until 1966, when we got this one, the familiar red flag with the Union Jack in the top corner and the bison in the lower right. So this year being Manitoba's 150th anniversary, I remember seeing some news stories about whether or not it was time to come up with a new flag, one that better represents the people that live here and our culture and our history. I learned that there's something called vexillology, which is apparently the study of flags, which must mean that there are vexillologists, people who study flags. And what they said, and what I read in some of the news stories, is that Manitoba's flag is poorly ranked. People don't like it because it is very indistinct. It's hard to tell apart from this one, Ontario. Did you see the difference? Ontario, Manitoba, Ontario. No, that's Ontario, Manitoba. Well, you get the point. The Union Jack really doesn't have a whole lot of connection to Manitoba today, and maybe it's time for an update. So this is something written by those vexillologists. It's called Good Flag, Bad Flag, and it lays out 5 design principles. So 1, the flag should be so simple that a child can draw it from memory. 2, the flag's images, colors, or patterns should relate to what it symbolizes. 3, limit the number of colors on the flag to 3 colors, which contrast well and come from the standard color set. Number 4, never use any writing or an organization's seal. And number 5, will avoid duplicating other flags, but you can use similarities to show connections. Now let's be honest, kids. Every year I ask kids to draw the Manitoba flag, and every year they kind of get the Union Jack okay. They get the red fine, but that bison, I have seen it drawn as a deer, a cat. I've even seen it drawn as an ant. Who thinks a bison looks like an ant? So what do you think, kids? Is it time for something new? Here's a few examples of good flags and bad flags. Here's the flag of Italy. It's simple, it's elegant. The green means hope, the white means faith, and the red means charity. It doesn't mean pasta, cheese, or marinara sauce like I originally thought. Italy is an example of a good flag. Now here's an example of not so good. The state of West Virginia. It's got words, it's got too many colors. Go ahead, kids. Try to draw that one. Here's an example of another good flag. Peguis First Nation from here in Manitoba. The yellow color means as long as the sun shines. The green color means as long as the grass grows. And the blue means as long as the river flows. The red talks about people and their treaties and how one group would not dominate another group. Not so great design. The state of South Dakota, look, it's got words all over the place. It's got numbers. I don't even know what that picture is in the middle. Try drawing that one. Here's another flag that you've seen here in Manitoba. It's the Métis flag. It's over 200 years old. The infinity symbol talks about how culture will live on forever, and it kind of describes a mixture of European and Indigenous people. Yeah, well, I really don't know what's happening here. This is the flag of Nunavut, one of Canada's newest flags. It came to be in 1999 when the territory was created. It has a gold and white fields in the background and the red Inukshuk, which is a traditional land marker. The blue sky signifies the North Star, and it also represents the leadership of community elders. And here's an example of not so great design, the Organization of American States. Go ahead, kids, give that a try. And that brings me back to the Union Jack, which is, of course, the flag of the United Kingdom. It's a combination of the Cross of St. George for England, the St. Andrew's Cross for Scotland, and it's combined with the red saltire, or the red X of the Order of St. Patrick. It's got nothing to do with Canada, and yet there it is on the flag of Manitoba. So, kids, it would seem to me, maybe it's a good time to come up with a new flag, our own ideas, for Manitoba on its 150th birthday. So remember the 5 elements. So simple you can draw it from memory. Images, colors, and patterns relate to symbols. Limited number of colors. Don't use writing and avoid duplicating other flags. And what are symbols of Manitoba? Well, you can look some up, but here's a few. Great bison, obviously. The white spruce. There's 100,000 lakes. Pick one. Maybe a polar bear. We like polar bears. How about the prairie crocus? That's our provincial flower. Or big blue stem grass, provincial grass. Could be wheat. We grow a lot of wheat. And canola, we make lots and lots of that stuff. We also have the boreal forest. There's walleye. And we had mosasaurs. You get the picture. There's lots of symbols you could use. So kids, there's lots of ideas you could come up with. I've attached a few ideas that other people came up with here, so don't copy them. I've also attached some blanks, which you'll find onto the template on Google Classroom and or Seesaw. So have fun, get designing, and hey, happy Manitoba Day.